How to make a Checkride binder. This is my CFI Checkride binder. It's pretty huge, pretty massive, bigger than all the other Checkride binders combined. This is kind of overboard, to be honest with you. You don't have to have it this big, but I've just got like everything I thought, might be asked, and everything that I thought was important. CFI Checkride is different from all your other Checkrides. And all your other previous Checkrides, the goal is to just answer the DPE's question as short as possible and as simple as possible. But with the CFI Checkride, you got to keep in mind that the DPE is looking for you to teach them like they're a brand new student who knows nothing. So if the DPE asks you a question on weather, flip to your weather lesson plan, and you don't read word for word your lesson plan, but go through it and kind of use it as bullet points. As a guideline on how to actually teach it, and you should also have some pretty good diagrams that you can show the DPE as well. So I guess I'm just going to go through this bad boy front to back and kind of explain to you why I think these are important, and give you a guideline on how to build your own Checkride binder for your CFI Checkride, because I had no idea where to start. There's so much information that you have to put in this. I was lost. So I'm going to go front to back and tell you what's important. I'll have pop-ups on the screen so you can kind of follow along and take screenshots as we go. Now I have a lot of pre-made lesson plans in my binder from Ryan C. Binns. You can go in the description. I'll have the link to them. I printed all these out. There's a lot of them, so I printed most of them out and threw them in here, read through them, understood them, and then I went and made my own lesson plans, which is very important. Make your own lesson plans, and you can also have pre-made lesson plans as well. So when I talk about these pre-made lesson plans throughout the video, you're going to know where to find them and where to reference them. So the very first page I have in here is the CFI endorsement guidelines. I'll pop it up on the screen somewhere. You can feel free to pause and screenshot. This is going to tell you all the endorsements that you're going to need to give people, from student pilot to commercial pilot to like multi-engine add-ons and flight instructor, like spin training and stuff, along with additional endorsements like flight reviews. Second page I have in here is the flying tasks plan of action. It just is a list of what you're going to do during your Checkride flight. Your DP is going to like to see this. If you have it made, it's going to show that you're prepared and you thought about it ahead of time. You don't have to make one, but my DP really liked it. We only ended up using about half of it, and then he ended up changing some of it. But he was really impressed that I ended up making one of these. So if you want to make one of your own, you may not use it, but it's always good to have. The third page I have in here is just sections in the far end that I thought were important that could be asked about. It's just telling me where to find like IFR requirements, student pilot requirements, recreational pilot requirements, stuff like that. It's just giving me pages or chapters in the far end on where to quickly find that. So getting into the first section of the Checkride binder is airworthiness requirements. This is just going to show you obviously the airworthiness requirements. So like what you need on board to fly, the required inspections, just some record keeping and preventative maintenance stuff. It's got your night VFR acronym. I wrote down all the hazardous attitudes and the antidotes for this as well. For the second section in here is going to be runway incursions. It's going to be a huge topic on your Checkride. They're going to ask you about runway incursions. So the first thing I have in here is just a airport diagram of Flying Cloud, Minnesota. And I had this to be able to show what hotspots look like on an airport diagram and how to use caution in the hotspots. So for the runway incursion lesson plan, like I said, this one was a pretty hard one to make. There's a lot of writing on it. Pop it up on the screen, take a screenshot of that, and kind of make your own from that. I did not have to put this on a whiteboard and teach from it. I kind of just held it up like this and taught from it during my Checkride, which was kind of silly. But, it worked. That's what he had me do. There's a lot of information you could put on this. So he's not going to expect you to put every single bit of information on your lesson plan. It's mostly just, what are the important things you think should be on there. I have standards, avoiding incursions. I have the severity list, which you should have on here for sure, the severity list. I have how to prepare before the flight, land, hold, short operations, hotspots, brief, and runway lighting. I also have a runway sign and marking reference guide in here. It's just a legend on all the airport markings and what they mean. Just be able to talk about runway incursions for like an hour straight, and your DP is going to be very impressed with that. Next section in the Checkride binder is aerodynamics. I'm not going to bore you with all that aerodynamic stuff, but it's just basic aerodynamics. It shows you the parts of the wing, it shows you the airflow around the wings. Lots of diagrams in this one, which is good to show your DPE and your student. It's got positive static diagrams in here. It's got dihedral, center of gravity, the different axes of the airplane, sync rate. It's got a lot of aerodynamic stuff. The next section is airplane flight controls and systems. So it's going to be like your rudder, your ailerons, your flaps, and kind of why they're there and why you use them. Each lesson plan is going to have a ground lesson outline, which is your bullet points on what to cover. And then we've got performance and limitations. This is a lot of pages on just performance and limitations charts and graphs and how to use them. We've got some weight and balance in here as well. Stall speeds, load factor, maneuvering speeds. Next is the National Airspace System. It's kind of a short one. It's just, I have a lot of the airspace diagrams in here and their descriptions. I also wrote the speed limits in all the airspace. You've also got your visibility requirements for each airspace and stuff like that. That's good to reference, and you've got some sectional information in here as well. And then moving on, we have navigation and radar services. This is kind of just like filler information. I honestly didn't even go through this on my Checkride. You've got some flight planning in here on sectionals and then for flight, how to do that. You've got like longitude and latitude, magnetic variation, compass deviation, wind correction angle, stuff like that. It's good to have these diagrams in here. I've got a bunch of diagrams. It's easy to comprehend for a new student. And another good thing that it has is for flight nav logs and how to understand those. Next up is system and equipment malfunctions. You're going to want to have this one in here. It's going to be important. You're going to be expected to talk about this more likely in the airplane. So we've got engine issues, smoke and fire, electrical issues. We've got like flap malfunctions or runaway trim, stuff like that. You've got this pretty much a big checklist on what to do for all of these and the logic behind it. You've got what to do if you've got low oil pressure. Again, checklists over here. A bunch of diagrams on what they might look like in the airplane. And then moving into emergencies, we've got emergency descents. We've got ground lessons in here. We've got how to get down fast. What is an emergency descent? And figuring out what the issues are. We've got some diagrams, some pictures. We've got safety considerations, maneuver descriptions. We've got steep spirals in here. We've got emergency approach to land. We've got best glide speed in here. We've got engine failure after takeoff. All really good stuff to have in here. And then weight and balance is going to be a big one. They're going to make you do a lesson plan on weight and balance, so just plan on it. If you can already have one drawn out on a piece of paper, then if they have a whiteboard during your check ride, then you can just copy it over to the whiteboard and you can actually practice teaching it. So it's going to be on whatever airplane you're flying for the day, so it should be one of the easiest lesson plans that you're going to have to do for that day. And this is gonna teach you how to do weight and balance. Obviously, it's gonna have all the diagrams, all the graphs, the center of gravity, everything you're gonna need to know to be able to teach your weight and balance lesson plan. Next up is weather. We've got kind of a shorter section here. We've got the METAR decoder, the ceiling visibility charts. We've got surface analysis. We've got winds aloft, air mets, sigmets, convective sigmets, forecasts. We've got TAF. We've got in-flight weather sources in here. We've got atmospheric stability, frontal systems, wind shear, and then this last page in here, I have a bunch of notes on, maybe some of my weak points, some of the odd abbreviations in the METAR that you don't really see. I would write those down just in case they ask you questions about them. That's pretty much all I have for weather. Next section is high altitude operations. Again, another basic section on high altitude operations, pressurization. The next section is night operations. So again, you've got like light gun signals and runway lighting, what it all means. You've got human factors of night operations, and some tools that you can bring with you to proficiently fly in the dark. In the next section, we've got logbook entries and endorsements. This is probably one of the biggest things on your CFI Checkride is how to endorse somebody and write in their logbook. This pretty much all I've gotten here is what is required for a student pilot. How many cross-country hours do they need? And then again, I have the CFI endorsement guidelines. And here, this is going to tell you what endorsements each student pilot needs, what they're going to need before their solo cross-country, all that, every endorsement they're going to need. And it tells you, pre-solo flight training is A4. So you're going to go into your advisory circular, 6165, and find A4, and it's going to tell you exactly how to do the endorsement, which is really helpful. You're going to need to know that for sure. Next up, we've got maneuvers. This is probably another one of the biggest things you're going to need in your CFI Checkride. Right here, I'll pop up a picture on the screen. It's the aircraft stability lesson plan that I made. And again, screenshot this, use it to your advantage. You don't have to copy mine. You can change some things, but this is the one that I made. And if you notice, all my lesson plans are the same format, and they worked really well for me. So I had like the perfect check ride, so I wouldn't do anything different. So I'm not going to blame you if you copy my lesson plans down and use them for yourself. Other things we have in the maneuver section is all the other maneuver lesson plans. I made lesson plans for every single maneuver, even though I knew we weren't going to be using all of them. We're most likely going to have to do Chandelle, Lazy 8, or 8s on pylons lesson plan. I believe I did 8s on pylons. So here's a picture of my Chandelle lesson plan. Feel free to take a screenshot of that, use it as a reference. Following my lesson plan, I have pre-made Chandelle lesson plans and explanations. You can make your lesson plans off of these pre-made ones. Next up is Lazy 8s. Here's the Lazy 8 lesson plan, followed by all the pre-made Lazy 8 descriptions and lesson plans and diagrams. I have 8s on pylons in here. This is one of my favorite lesson plans to do just because I thought it was a little more complicated. And then we've got all the pre-made ones as well and diagrams. You can copy these diagrams out of the pre-made lesson plans and draw them on your own lesson plans. And I suggest you make lesson plans for every maneuver. Just in case they want you to do it, you can just take it out of your binder, look at it, and copy it onto the whiteboard, and then teach it from the whiteboard. It's so easy. It's so easy to do. We have steep spiral as a lesson plan. We have all the ground content to go with that. We have a spin lesson plan. You're going to need to do a spin lesson plan most likely. And then for the last page in the maneuvers, I have notes on everything you should talk through while you're in the airplane doing the maneuver. So I'll pop up a picture of that. You don't need to have this, but I just thought it was useful to write down everything you should be able to say while you're flying a maneuver or while the student is flying the maneuver. You can write these down and just share fly and talk through these. Is really helpful because you're going to need to do that on the flight portion anyways. And moving on to human factors, we've got hypoxic, hypemic, hystoxic, stagnant. We've got Coriolis effect. We've got the diagrams, pictures that we drew along with these to really kind of wrap your head around what you're actually talking about. Moving on to pilot qualifications. It's pretty simple, just everything you need that's required to get your pilot licenses, all the requirements. You've got the medical information, the breakdown on how long they last. And then moving on, we have airworthiness requirements. We have like day VFR, night VFR requirements. We have special flight permits. We have weight and balance information, registration. We have pictures of what that might look like, so you can see like where to find them, what you can expect them to look like. And then for the last section in the binder, I have a teaching section. You don't need this, but it was just available to me, so I just threw it in here. Pretty much it just tells you how to be a good teacher, how to know if your students understanding and how to explain things to them. Again, you don't need this, but I thought it was kind of useful to read through it. I never looked at it again after I read through it, but that's also because I'm not currently teaching. But yeah, throw this in there too. It's good to know. It's good to be able to reference this and know how you should be teaching your students for them to learn the best way. And that is the end of my Checkride binder. Again, you can throw whatever you want in the binder. This is everything that I could think of that I might need to know or have on hand or teach a student. You got to make your Checkride binder custom to you and easy for you to read and understand and navigate, and most importantly, easy for you to teach from. And it's not just a CFI Checkride binder, it's your CFI binder. Like, you're going to be using this for the rest of your CFI teaching career. As a reference, you can show students certain things that you might not be able to explain too well. So you're going to be using this, and so really make it easy to teach from, because it's not just for your Checkride. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys want to know how I made my lesson plans and why I made them the way I did, I can make a video on that explaining, and it's literally the same format every single time, just with different information. So this is the CFI Checkride binder that I highly suggest you make. And when you're done with that, click on this video or watch this video, and we'll see you there.